Chapter 6 Season 1 is over, and Chapter 6 Season 2 is looking up to be a pretty good season, but I want to look back on this season because it's a really interesting case. I would genuinely consider this to be one of Fortnite's greatest seasons. This was a pretty good season. It had a lot of stuff that got added. I feel like BR was great, OG was great, Reload was great. I think everything about this season was great. But I found myself playing this season not a lot, and I kind of wonder why that is because I like this season. I like the gameplay loop, and every time I play, I always end up playing for a while. But when I'm not playing, I'm always playing some other game, and I rarely ever hop on Fortnite. I'm gonna review the season based on the gameplay, extra content, battle pass, cosmetics, story, a bunch of other different little things that make a season a season. Be sure to like and subscribe. If we hit 25k by 2026, I'll get a low taper fade. Also, use code LilSmurf in the Fortnite item shop. That's enough promotion. Let's go! Starting with the map, this is a very strong starter map. This map is absolutely gorgeous. The graphics are amazing, and the layout of these POIs just feels so good. I don't know how to explain it, but the way that these POIs look and the way that they're laid out is very nice on the eyes, and it also makes for some fun POIs to fight in. Seaport City is my personal favorite. I'm a sucker for city POIs. Mega City is probably my favorite POI of all time, but this very closely rivals it. There's so many stories and little caverns in this city that just make it so expansive and actually makes you feel like you're in a hustling and bustling city. It just makes you feel like overwhelmed in a sense, but not in a bad way. Speaking of secrets, there are a lot of secret areas on this map. I feel like ever since Chapter 3 ended, there haven't really been a lot of quote-unquote Easter eggs or secrets that you can find on the map, like how back in Chapter 3 you had like the Rock family that would walk around on the map, or you would have these little references like this one gravestone that was a reference to someone who died because of a glitch. That was funny. And then in Chapter 4 to 5, they just sort of stopped that, but now there's little robots that you can find all over the place. There's little secret caverns that you can find, little like lab experiments and all that stuff. It's a very good map, and I honestly am wondering how they're going to expand it. There are so many POIs on this map already that it genuinely feels like it could be a Season 3 map, a Season 4 map, or something like that. But no, this is Season 1, so I'm really interested to see how this map is going to expand, because it's massive. You know what else is next? Let's talk about the guns. I think the guns are pretty good. It feels nice to have an actually good shotgun meta again, but I don't think that these weapons are all that crazy. They just feel like reskins of the other guns, and I feel like a lot of people are just praising this loot pool so much because of how terrible the loot pool was in Chapter 5. Thank God Hitscan returned because it needed it so much. Not only does the gunplay just feel better, but it also makes it so that Fortnite can actually unvault items instead of having to do bullet drop reskins and all this other crap. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna unvault the combat AR, but we're gonna completely change the way it works and looks and all this other stuff to the point where it's not even the combat AR. But here, they can just unvault the suppressed pistol, the hunting rifle, the railgun, all of these other things that just make the loot pool just With that being said, there are things in the loot pool that I do not like. For example, the explosive repeater rifle is absolutely broken. You can basically double pump with this thing, and I don't know why there hasn't been a nerf on it. Do I have fun using this item? Yes, but I hate when everyone else uses it. Something that I hate both using and fighting against is the Typhoon Blade. I absolutely hate this thing, which is crazy because at the beginning of the season, I did not hate it at all. I thought it was pretty fun, but I didn't know why it took me so long to just start hating this thing, and more people were using it against me. I'm wondering why that's the case. So the Kinetic Blade, when that first launched, people used it for offense, but then started using it for defense, where you would use it for mobility. And I feel like the inverse happened with the Typhoon Blade, where people started using it for defense and mobility, but then they were like, oh crap, I can just spam this thing, and it's crazy. These are like the Nitro Fists of Chapter 6, and I think the Nitro Fists were way worse, but still, they basically work the same as the Nitro Fists in the sense they're a spammy click item that doesn't really require a whole lot of skill to use. It's annoying, I don't like it, and another thing I don't like are red dot sights having hit scan. That absolutely is always broken. There's never been a single instance where that has ended well. I think a good trade-off could simply just be when you aim down sights with a red dot sight, it switches to bullet drop. I think that would be a much fairer trade-off to make those guns not dominate the meta. This isn't really an important part of a season for me, but the cosmetics this season, they were pretty fire, I can't even lie. Almost every single skin fit in, and it didn't feel like an out-of-place collab that was just shoved in there just because. I said almost every collab. Almost. Godzilla perfectly makes sense for a secret skin. Baymax, 100%. He's from like a San Francisco sorta city, so it makes sense why he's in here. Hatsune Miku, as much as I don't like her music, she makes sense as a festival icon in a Japanese-themed season. And Skibbity Toilet? Skibbity Toilet. But yeah, cosmetics this season were fire, not really a whole lot of complaints. It doesn't really affect the season that much for me, but still, it's an added bonus. The story pisses me off a lot this season because it could have been so good. I feel like there was a lot of potential with Shogun X. Why are we on the Chapter 6 map? Why did we just appear here? Why are there Japanese samurai here? There was so much potential, but then they just absolutely wasted it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know the story this season all that well. I basically know that this guy is trying to look for his sister or his daughter or something, and then he finds out like, oh yeah, we gotta beat Shogun X, and so he finally does. And the one time I skipped a mini event, it was like the best mini event that we've ever gotten. That's what I will say. This mini event was absolutely fire. And I'm low-key tired of calling them mini events because even though they are shorter than normal live events, they basically have just as much love and care put into them as they did back in the day. Also, the new Metaverse modes that got added this season were absolutely fire. I absolutely love OG now. I didn't really like it that much in Season 1, but now I'm having a blast on it. Ballistic is absolutely fire. It is in early access, and there's not really a whole lot of replay value at the moment, but the gameplay loop is extremely addicting, and I feel like once they officially release it, it has potential to be one of Fortnite's best modes. The new reload map that they added was really good. I know that they added this in Remix, but still, I really liked it. I really like this direction that the Metaverse is going. It's not just like add-ons to the game where it's just like, oh yeah, here's some random side mode that the average player base isn't going to care about. They're add-ons to BR, different modes to BR, gunplay focused modes. I love that so much, and I'm glad that they're actually doing that. I liked the Godzilla content that they added, however, I wish that some of it was still kept in the form of an LTM. I understand not keeping Godzilla in main BR all the time, but I really wish they made a separate mode where anyone could become Godzilla, and once you killed Godzilla, you would become Godzilla. That would have been so crazy, but I guess Fortnite just didn't want to do that. That makes me really sad, but it's whatever. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. There's gonna be no video on Saturday because I want to have some time to play the new season and make a video talking about my thoughts, so if you made it this far, comment your favorite miscellaneous drop spot on the Chapter 3 map. That's all I really wanted to say. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.